KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Good morning, I'm Emmeline Mohabi, in for Debbie Cruz. It's Friday, May 17th. How California's budget deficit could impact public transit here in San Diego. More on that next, but first, let's do the headlines. Unionized grad students who work at UC campuses, including UCSD, are threatening to walk off their jobs in response to university actions against pro-Palestinian protests. United Auto Workers Local 4811 represents thousands of student workers and reported that 79% of them voted earlier this week to authorize leadership to call a strike. The union is asking the schools to pardon all academic employees and students who face arrest or disciplinary actions for protesting, and to disclose all its known investments in weapons manufacturers, military contractors, and companies that may be making a profit from the Israel-Hamas war. The union says the goal of the strike is not to raise wages, but to protect workers' rights. The San Diego Unified School District yesterday canceled most of the teacher layoff notices it issued in March. Based on the financial information available back then and because of required deadlines, 234 preliminary layoff notices were issued to educators. Yesterday, the district and the San Diego Education Association canceled all but 9 of those notices. The district was able to avoid the layoffs by taking an updated look at its financial situation and identifying which teachers were retiring or resigning. It's now working with site principals to finalize staffing plans for the upcoming school year. We've been starting our days with May gray weather this week, and that's expected to continue today and into the weekend. Plus, in the inland and coastal areas, there's a chance of patchy drizzle before 11 a.m. today. By the coast and in the mountains, temperatures will be in the low 60s, and in the inland areas, temps will be in the low 70s. Weather in the deserts will feel like summer, though, with temperatures in the 90s. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
California is facing a budget deficit of more than $27 billion. Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says that's impacting funding for public transit here in San Diego.
Last year, state lawmakers passed SB 125, pledging $4 billion to help public transit agencies continue their post-pandemic recovery. MTS had planned to spend its share on increased bus and trolley frequencies and a new overnight bus to the Mexican border. But the transit funding has been frozen amid state budget deliberations. At an MTS board meeting Thursday, San Diego City Council President Sean Ela Rivera said it's disappointing.
These were changes that folks were excited about and looking forward to because of the impact it will have on riders' lives. But we didn't have control over the SB 125 funding, and so we need to pivot.
MTS still has its own structural deficit and dwindling reserves. A countywide sales tax measure on the November ballot could save the agency from having to cut services. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
There's also the possibility of big cuts for education in the state budget. Education reporter MG Perez has more on what is in it and how much could be out for schools at all levels.
Governor Gavin Newsom says his latest state budget revision protects most major funding for TK through 12th grade programs. Even so, the revision includes eliminating $550 million to pay for more buildings to house preschools, TK classrooms, and full-day kindergarten programs. There's also a cut of $60 million from the Golden State Grant Program that helps teachers pay for their credentialing classes. $60 million will stay in the budget for community Community College nursing programs to help with the state's nursing shortage. Domitrivis Armstrong is Associate Dean of Nursing at San Diego City College.
We are needed. We are essential. We are the elements to provide care for the patients who deserve it.
The San Diego Community College District continues campaigning for a bill in the state legislature that would allow a 4-year nursing bachelor's degree starting in the next fiscal year. MG Perez, KPBS News.
2 Southwestern College professors are suing the school for retaliation after reporting racial discrimination. The suit echoes a longer history. In 2018, a USC assessment found a, quote, climate of anti-Blackness on campus. Reporter Katie Hyson visited Southwestern to see what has changed since.
Current President Mark Sanchez inherited Southwestern's racial challenges in 2020. Transfer rates for Black male students to 4-year colleges were in the single digits, he says.
I would venture to say that was probably one of the lowest transfer rates in the state at a California community college. So I knew the situation was urgent.
He says a lot of students rely on public transit, which makes getting to even the nearby 4-year colleges difficult. So he worked on convincing more programs to offer their classes on Southwestern's campus.
Arizona State will start in August. UCSD is looking to bring a physician assistant and a Bachelor of Nursing degree here.
After the 2018 report came out, Southwestern created an equity officer position and hired Janelle Williams-Melendrez. She asked a key question.
Who is being invited to interviews, who is hired as a result. We see much more diversity in those pools now.
Though overall diversity is increasing, the number of African American faculty and administrators is trending down. They won't have this year's final numbers until August, but Sanchez says,
we're already starting to see an uptick in Black student enrollment.
They offer a learning community geared toward African American students called Emoja. I sat down with 5 members to see what the college is like for current students.
For me, I think
Victoria, you have to speak up.
Sorry.
Victoria Eichhoff's voice is almost drowned out by the loud hum of the air conditioner in Emoja's community room.
The most amazing part about being here on campus as a Black student is the resources.
Resources like tours of historically Black colleges, internships, and scholarships. But, she says,
And it's kind of like a double-edged sword because so many people don't know about it.
Learning communities like Emoja have a limited number of spots. She wants to join student leadership to help all Black students benefit from the community Emoja offers, which is much needed, says Stanley Mitchum.
This is what, like 3-4% of us on campus, so not even that.
Right. You just heard it here, not even that. So it's like, we really do have to.
It's 4%. Nikki White.
It's not just like, oh, I just want it to be all Black, but it is a comforting feeling. Like, Black people have this thing, like, when we see you walking, well, for me, for sure, I'm going to holler at you because I don't see a lot of us walking around like that.
They say they have Black leaders to look to on campus, and they have each other. But when they go to class, they're often the only Black student in the room. There's this pressure to represent all Black people well. Dwight Howell Jr.
You know, my teacher was talking about like environmental racism and stuff like that, and like he kept like asking me for my input, but shoot, I didn't even know. Yeah. I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know what environmental even was. I feel like I'm letting myself down, and not only myself, I'm feeling like I'm letting like down like all the people, all the Black people on campus. Since there's not a lot of us here, like all of us have like a certain job that we have to like. I guess that we have to present ourselves in a certain way so we can like uphold our like reputation.
Nikki White.
We really get held at a high standard, like to the point to where we can't breathe.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody, the campus, the hood is like banking on us to make it so that we can open that door. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. I am very disciplined, but it is stressful.
Howell.
Not only it's stressful for us like physically, it's also stressful for us mentally because we also feel like that, oh, I gotta do this, oh, I gotta do this, oh, I gotta walk straight, I gotta keep my back up, I gotta clap my hands a certain way, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Jose Jackson.
Statistically, physically, even mentally, you have to beat the system because people are going to look at us and racially profile us and not even say anything.
I'm constantly telling myself, like, I am the best, like, I will graduate, I will be somebody who is a leader.
The students say they hadn't heard about the recent lawsuit or the 2018 report, but they believe the claims. They know friends who've had bad experiences as Black students, and ICUF's heard there's history from the longtime Black
so many
staff.
times how they paved the way for us because they weren't supported when they originally wanted to start a program like Umoja. It's at a point where we've done a lot of fighting and a lot of vocalizing, and it's up to
I lean in to hear her. The issues of Black people are already out there, she says. Now, she says it's up to others to respond or be complacent with the system. Katie Hyson, KPBS News.
The city of San Diego has more than 250 miles of alleys. That's according to a UCSD professor who says they have untapped potential as public spaces. Reporter Katie Anastas says the community can learn how this weekend in Normal Heights.
For many San Diegans, alleys are places to park your car or throw out your trash. On Saturday, UC San Diego Urban Studies professor Sue Pearson, her students, and community partners will share how they could be made greener and safer.
The students looked at seating and lighting and green walls. Maybe the idea to take a two-way alley and make it a one-way alley to reduce the impact and the width of the car traffic and the truck traffic.
Alleys in Action will feature interactive models, kids' activities, a gallery of urban studies students' designs, and an opportunity for attendees to share their own ideas. The event is from 1 to 4 p.m. in the alley south of Adams Avenue off Mansfield Street in Normal Heights, where Pearson says alleys make up 30% of the street network. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
A new local opera company is about to make its debut in downtown San Diego. Reporter Jacob Ayer says Opera a la carte is using regional talent in their productions and making the high-class art of opera accessible to all.
Inside the quaint 10th Avenue Arts Theater in downtown San Diego, the sounds of music fill the air. Opera a la carte founder, Abla Lynn Hamza, is excited for their inaugural production, Giacomo Puccini's La Bohème. It's a 1940s rendition of the classic opera, created for and by the San Diego community.
There aren't a lot of smaller companies here, and there are all these talented performers, and I really wanted to give people opportunities to perform, as well as introduce people to opera who maybe don't know that much about it.
Hamza says their mission is to use all local talent and make the beauty of opera and classical singing accessible and affordable to all audiences. The La Bohème show kicks off Thursday and runs nightly through Sunday. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
Well, that's a wrap on the podcast today. I produced this podcast and it's edited by Brooke Ruth. We'd also like to thank producer Ben Lacey for helping the podcast team this week. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. Join us again on Monday to start the new week together with the day's top stories. I'm Emmeline Mohebi. It's been so fun chatting with you all this week on the podcast. Debbie Cruz will be back on Monday. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a happy Friday and a great weekend.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.